Hi, this is Beverly Beal with the Intuitive Interior. It is time for the February 2026 I Ching reading. Now, this energy forecast is for February 4th through March 4th. This animal sign is the Yang metal tiger. This energy is the information on this card simply says release your attachment. Well, yeah, because you've got this yang metal, which is like a hatchet, and then the tiger, it has the yang wood energy underneath of it. And so, what does a hatchet do with a tree? Well, you can cut it down. You can also use this to be a time of pruning. So, it doesn't mean that you have to raise everything, but it is a great month to really look at, well, what have you been attached to? What groups do you want to stay involved in? um, and how can you reimagine life without those old habits? So with this, it also says that if this card is very helpful if you are unsure of your next steps, because again, this yang metal, this pruning, this trimming will give you more clarity, and it's okay to stop, take a break, unplug, give that tiger energy that little downtime, that pause that it needs before it can spring into action. It says that you might be holding on to material things, relationships, emotions, and thoughts that weigh you down. Do you have clutter in your environment? Perfect month to start that spring cleaning process. This is a great time to really look at how you can adjust your physical situation. And again, we're moving starting officially on February 4th with the solar new year. That is when all of our Chinese astrology birth charts reset. It's also when we go through and redo all of the feng shui cures and enhancements for the flying stars. Metal is the element of self-reflection. This is a good time to observe your thoughts and emotions and look at the person in the mirror without judgment. It's also a good time to rest and recharge, to conserve your energy like the tiger, because you never know when it's going to be time to strike. The I Ching card for the Yang metal tiger is number 49. It's called Revolution. Now, the image on this is a person with a lot of flames on top of their head and multiple people underneath that are looking kind of like, okay, what's going on? I don't know. You're starting to move away in a different direction from us. And it has that element of a phoenix rising from the ashes. This is also the card for the year of 2026 in the month pillar. That's work, career, government, rules, regulations. And so revolution, it's starting now. It's transformation, a radical change. Give up the old to make way for the new, and a quantum leap. Whether we like it or not, we are going through this massive transformation. If you missed the episode that I did strictly on the energy of 2026, please go back and check it out. I'll go ahead and I'll put a link in the show notes below. But this is a time of breakthrough, whether we like it or not. It's about, last year was all about growth, shedding our skin, shedding what didn't work for us. And if we're still holding on to things that don't serve us, that aren't in our highest and best good, it's going to be as if we're trying to walk in shoes that are the wrong size. And it's going to be painful. So it's going to be time to upgrade. And again, this is not just for work. It's just entirely the energy of February. Look around. It's pruning time. It really is. Its growth is not an easy process. It's risky, sometimes frightening, but with courage and fortitude, we become stronger, more supple, and hopefully more aware. Releasing your grip on whatever you're clinging to, whether it's an identity, a relationship, a place, or a thing, may seem impossible, but once you feel the truth of it all the way to your bones, letting go becomes easier and can be exhilarating. This is, again, that pruning action. Create as much space as possible in your life now to make room for the new. Become a witness to the mind's preoccupation with the past and future and consistently return to the present. If that's all you take away from this video, returning to the present, returning to the now, grounding and staying centered, that is going to be the best advice that will serve you extremely well, not just for February, but for the entire year. The next card is number 64. This is the very last one in the whole I Ching deck. It's called Before Completion. And you see a person walking very gingerly on a frozen surface of a lake, and it's cracking. This actually has fire on top of the water. And so you've got this ice that is not, this surface is no longer firm anymore. It's starting to melt, and that causes a great deal of anxiety. There's an end in sight on the card. The person is almost to the shore, but not quite. The words on this are uncertainty, doubt, and hesitation, loss of faith, unstable conditions, be extra cautious, and discord. I think we can all see how that is brewing throughout the world, not just in one spot. It says here that you may have recently awakened to the fact that there are no guarantees in life, and that sometimes, no matter how much energy and care you put into something, for one reason or another, it cannot be brought to fruition. And that can be a tough lesson to learn, that attaining what you set out to accomplish takes more than your own blood, sweat, and tears. If it isn't supported by right timing, it isn't going to happen. That's why I use date selection with my Chinese astrology to try to get as many things going in my favor as possible. Because if you just like the tiger, again, think about this tiger energy. It leaps before the right time. Well, then it misses out on dinner. So let's just be judicious in making sure that planning lines up. Now, it is focus line is 2. The second one, again, those the bottom 3, 1, 2, and 3 are those more internal processes. And so this is right in the middle. This is about really taking stock of where you are. It says your self-restraint and perseverance are being put to the test. If your motivation has been for personal gain, success will be nothing more than a momentary high, leaving you hungry for the next chance to be a hero. On the other hand, if your original intention, your original intention may have long since faded, having been replaced by the understanding that the journey itself is the goal. Use this time to bring the fullness of your attention to all that you undertake. Even in failure, you will be triumphant. Again, have the right motivation. It's not always about winning and losing. It's about, how are you, what attitude are you going into a project with? If you're going to out there to try to, make other people falter, that energy is not going to be helpful. That's going to cause more cracks, more instability in our walking surfaces. The next card is number 6, conflict. We've had that one before. It has basically the rock'em sock'em robots kind of going after each other with indigenous painting on their faces. It is like two volcano men fighting, and they've got the fire hitting where their foreheads are touching. It's kind of unpleasant looking. Will to power, hostility, jealousy, stubbornness, aggression, fear, competitiveness, controversy. I just feel like I just said lions and tigers and bears, oh my. because when you have that with all of these others, it's like, ooh, February is not going to be a great month. But then again, we're talking about trimming, and it's not fun for the tree, especially, to be pruned. Conflict is fundamentally a clash of wills, and the clash arises first of all within each of the combatants. When an individual or group feels strongly about the rightness of an idea, a proposal, or a certain way of doing things, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture, where each vantage point offers a unique and valuable perspective. This battleground energy just needs one person to step back, get the higher vantage point, and say, okay, is this even really worth fighting over? Is this worth throwing away decades worth of friendship? You might find that yes, in fact, it is, because if things have gotten so far apart that you cannot reconcile, then maybe it's time to say goodbye. But that doesn't have to be the case. It doesn't mean even that you have to separate it all. It just means you have to stop, picking up the rope after the other person has dropped it. This focus line is number 6. This is again about the going outward into the world. And so number 6 is at the absolute top of the line. It is where you are taking your wisdom and applying it to whatever situation you have in your world. It says, when things reach a boiling point, the flame underneath the pot doesn't magically go out by itself. However difficult it may seem, it is essential to work steadily towards resolution. In the beginning, it feels galling to the ego because the ego hates nothing more than the appearance of vulnerability. But in the end, comfortable clothes are a lot less painful than a suit of armor. Winners need losers, just like givers need takers. Neither is better than the other because it's the yin and the yang. We have balance. We will always have people who will do better than others. We will have people who will win competitions when others don't. That doesn't mean that these others who are competing are horrible or whatever. It just means that the other person has to win graciously and don't try to lord it over everybody. So that's where that's how you drop the conflict. It's very, very important that we start to reprogram some of these actual survival mechanisms that that promote aggression over collective action, because that's how we destroy each other and destroy ourselves. So the last card that I pulled, again, another one for the entire year of 2026. So we're really getting a taste of the whole year right away in this month. This is card number 28, excess. This again has a very burdened man with, oh my goodness, so many bundles on top of his back, trying to literally carry the weight of the world on his back. And he's carried it for so long, there's literally a small tree growing on the top of it. At that point, you forget why you're carrying what you were carrying. Now, this card is actually the card for the Yang Fire Horse. It is the year card for all of 2026, and we're getting another taste of it. This is stress, overload, exhaustion, obsessiveness, gluttony, burdens, worries, the breaking point. It's a lot. It's a lot. This hexagram uses the analogy of a ridgepole so overloaded that it sags to the breaking point. It can be too much of a good thing or exhaustion from too much doing. This speaks to, honestly, gluttony. Are you, are you collecting so much? What are you going to do with all of this? Just because you can get more, do you need more? Just, it's looking at yourself with unwavering honesty and um, try to understand why you feel the need for all of this. Greed, Gordon Gekko aside, is not good. Greed is truthfully trapped chi. When you are collecting too much, stuff that you cannot use, it is just stagnant energy that causes more challenges for you. It's why clutter itself is not necessarily a big problem. It's the stagnation of that clutter. Piles of paper are not necessarily bad. It's the stagnation of those piles, because some people are simply visual organizers. But if it's all stays stuck and keeps piling up, well, maybe there's an emotion underneath that you're trying to suppress. Maybe it's just that you don't really feel like dealing with something because, well, it's not fun. And there's a level of discipline that needs to come forward so that this excess can be released in a way that is beneficial to you, but beneficial to others who might need some of that. This focus line is number 1. Again, very, very core. Got to go really deep and take a look at this. Perfect timing, because that is like a very watery energy, that introspection. You need that in this time of a lot of fire. This says sometimes a breaking point comes because of an accumulation of a number of small actions or decisions rather than one overwhelming or obsessive passion. If you can look deeply into the details of how you've been spending your time and energy lately, it might reveal a larger pattern that was not apparent to you before. Are you spending a lot of time on social media? I mean, I'm obviously really happy when you see my videos, but are you just doom scrolling? Are you filling your feed with more of one particular tragedy or another particular terrible action? If you're just collecting this in your head and not taking action, or that to purge that out of your system, then you literally are hoarding emotions in your body. And after a certain point in time, your body will say, no, enough. And will tell you, and you'll either get sick, you'll have an injury, or you'll just stop sleeping. And those are, that's not, none of those is good. So this is a great year to really commit to an exercise program, to a meditation program, to therapy, finding, coaching, whatever you need to do in order to pull things back inside, ground yourself, and really ask, why am I doing this? Why do I feel like I need to hold on to this? How is this serving me and the community at large? Because we really need to keep that community together and be strong together. All right. Well, I hope that helps this month. If you are let me double check. If you are a monkey, if you have a monkey in your chart, this is going to be a great month for you to break some bad habits, to find new ways to inspire creativity, and also really good month to expect the unexpected. I love looking for those completely out of the blue little sparks of joy. Look for the joy, look for the happy, and just know that there is always going to be that, even in the midst of the most challenging times. Sometimes you just got to find it and look extra hard for it. Make that intention. I hope that helps. You have a wonderful and happy February. And if you have any questions about your Chinese astrology, you can book a session. I will have a link in the show notes. Bye-bye.